once again, the Los Angeles Rams win a football game in dominating fashion and impressive fashion, and we're talking about the other team or the other teams like the Saints, the Packers, and we're not talking about a Rams team that is stout on defense and stout in the running game and loses their left tackle, their Walter Payton Man of the Year stud leader in the locker room guy, and Andrew Whitworth, who apparently is going to still have a chance to come back this year, lose him and still jam the ball down the Patriots' throat with a rookie. And Jared Goff using the boots and the play action and the coach and Sean McVay switching it up with a personnel group that he switched up on New England, knowing that they've got a short week and they break a tendency and they jam 2 tight ends and 2 receivers and 1 back right down the Patriots' throat. And the coach was on his game, and the quarterback was on his game, and the rookie running back was on his game, and the defense was on its game, and we're talking about the Patriots. But that's a 9-win team that is going to be in first place by the end of the week, I would say, regardless of the result. But Seattle and Jamal Adams are welcoming the Jets into the Pacific Northwest, and oh boy. And then the Jets, I assume, are not going back home. They're going to stay on the left coast and come down here and take on the Rams. So you got a 10-win team, basically, in the Rams going into their final 2 weeks of the season, taking on, right here in Los Angeles, the Arizona Cardinals to finish up, but that Week 16 game at Seattle being for pretty much the entire NFC West shooting match. And depending on the Packers and the Saints, how they fare over the next 2 weeks, maybe for an even better seed than what the Rams have as the 3 seed. And go ahead and overlook them, because that's Bambi at quarterback, and that's a running back that's a rookie, but we don't know who the running back is. And, you know, who'd you call him? Bobby Trees, Robert Woods,
Bobby Trees, man.
Cooper Kupp, and all these tight ends from Higbee to Munt. And by the way, that's the depth chart, right? With an Everett in between, and offensively, you're wondering how can they put up 30, 35, 40 like they used to? Well, that's not their team anymore. It's 99's team. We're all paying rent in Aaron Donald's world. 1.5 sacks last night. Don Bowie, would you mind putting up the graphic of Aaron Donald as we're seeing him sacking Cam Newton last night? Number 99 in your program, now number 4 on the all-time list of most sacks in a season. Most sacks, in the first 7 seasons of a career. His 1.5 moved him past Von Miller into 4th place on that list, behind, stop me if you heard them before. Well, don't, because you've heard of them before. Derek Thomas, DeMarcus, Reggie White. Reggie White had 110 sacks in his first 7 seasons in the National Football League. And we're not even counting what he had as a USFL player before he joined the NFL. I mean, Reggie freaking White. Oh, my God.
That's unbelievable.
What an absolute, total, complete, dominant, well, he's a minister of defense beast. 110 sacks in his first 7 seasons. My God. My God. But Aaron Donald's in that company.
That's 25 plus more sacks.
And then you rush the passer with him, and clearly he requires a lot of attention. You have that up front, and Jalen Ramsey saying, I got that guy. Remove that person from the afternoon or evening. You can just remove that person, whether they're DeAndre Hopkins or N'Keal Harry. I mean, so you have to say this is what happens when the Patriots have this offense and Cam's still learning it, or Cam's still, maybe diminishing. I mean, he's still a talented guy with a ton of physical prowess at the position. But when you go up against a team like the Rams in 2020, the way that they are constituted with a young team, youngest team entering the NFL this year, belonging to the Rams roster. Don't forget that. That's the way the Patriots are going to look. So Terry could blame it all on Cam only once, but you also have to look across the way at the team in their heaven can wait uniforms last night and say, yes, that's the reason. That's part of the reason. So to salute Les Snead and Sean McVay and the rest of that team. They'll beat the Jets. They'll have a 10-win campaign. Seattle will beat the Jets. They'll have a 9-4 record as well. And then Seattle, after beating the Jets, will have to visit the Washington football team while the Rams sit at home and take on the Jets. And like I told you earlier in the season, the Rams put all of their East Coast trips, they had it all jammed on them in the first half of a pandemic season. Rams at Philadelphia week 2, at Buffalo week 3, at Washington week 5, at Miami week 8. The furthest they go out of Los Angeles, the rest of the way is up to Seattle. That's it. And how far it is from their doors over the hill, probably in the valley where they live near their Thousand Oaks facility, all the way to just up the road from here for their stadium visit to play a game. That's it. So they're through all the big traveling. Seattle's got to go to the Washington football team week 15. That's what we call a problem. So I like the Rams in the West right now, I'll tell you that. And we'll see what the Packers and Saints look like. You might like the Rams for the whole potential NFC shoot match when it's all said and done. But, you know, then you have to explain what happened against San Francisco. You got to explain that. You could say, I guess it's a division game. You got to explain that. You know? So the Rams have had a couple of head scratchers in this mix. But that's then. This is now. And what happened last night made the Patriots yesterday's news and the Rams today's and maybe January, if not February's news.